cut is the latest edition of the Skunk Works series. These are limited, special-built rifle systems by Gunworks that have a particular focus or application. In this case, we've taken the Climber rifle system, which is already a lightweight mountain gun, and we've removed every single ounce that we possibly can through advanced materials and engineering without compromising performance. Product design is the coolest part of what I do as a job, and I don't get to do enough of it. But one of the things that I really like to do is tie old school, rifle hunting heritage into the modern technology and cutting edge products that we make. And back in the old days, Jack O'Connor had the ultimate sheep rifle, and that rifle weighed 8 pounds. Our current Climber rifle system is just over 8 pounds with all the exotic materials, the titanium actions, carbon fiber barrel, etc. And that's always been a weight combination that's worked really well for us. You can run a bigger 7mm, you can be prepped for grizzly bears in sheep country and still have a controllable rifle system. And we've done the ultralights. We've shot the 4.5, 5-pound guns in the big magnums. They're not something that I'm willing to take on a hunt where that one shot might be worth $75,000. When we set out to do this Skunk Works series, one of the focuses was what can we remove and how can we make this ultralight without compromising that shootability performance that we're used to. It's a little bit of a challenge, and starting with the Climber rifle system, which has the stock design geometry, it has kind of the balance and a lot of the characteristics that we need for comfortable, pleasant shooting and follow through. When we outlined this project, we basically said, start with a Climber, how light can we make it? And I challenged the guys to do a complete shooting system that was under 7 pounds.
When Aaron first came to us with this challenge, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We sat down and talked about it, and really this department has a challenge accepted type of mentality. So we knew we were going to tackle this project and pull out all the stops. Really where we started on this project is we took a Climber and we tore the whole gun apart, and we made a list of the weights of every component on this gun. And that's really where we've focused our priorities, on the heaviest all the way down to the lightest components.
And it turned into a really big materials science engineering experiment where we evaluated say like your action screws. Instead of using the traditional screw, we looked at titanium. And every time you look at a material substitution, you have to do modeling, you have to do finite element analysis, you have to do some prototyping and testing to make sure you don't have any failures. And so each one of those parts that we looked at represents a massive amount of engineering work to make sure that the product still functions well, that we don't sacrifice any capabilities. And then once you get the whole system together, now we need to get shooting it and make sure that we haven't sacrificed any of the shooting performance either.
Once we had our list of weights, the top 3 heaviest hitters were pretty obvious. It was the stock, the barrel, and then also the optic. With the stock, we really dove in on the actual layup. So you can see on this stock, it's got a different carbon pattern on it. One of the biggest unique things about this pattern is it's a spread toe technology. What that does is it takes all the individual carbon fiber filaments that are stacked like this in a traditional weave, and it takes them and spreads them out wider and thinner. So what that's going to do in this fabric is it's going to make the fabric lighter because it is thinner, but also since those toes are flatter, you're going to maintain stiffness and strength in the stock. Another feature that we did on this was the foam fill that actually goes into the stock. Played with a lot of additives that go into that, and we were able to kind of optimize the fill that goes in there as well. A couple other nice features in the stock is we have a magnesium bedding block. Magnesium in itself is roughly 30% lighter than aluminum, so we took our aluminum bedding block, which is already a very optimized design, and we just turned it into a magnesium product. And then you can also see here, we get some more weight savings. We added some extra inletting and weight relief in inletting itself. Then we kind of go over to the barrel. This was a really heavy hitter. From the breech all the way to the muzzle, we have weight savings. We start at the shank end. One of the most important features on our barrels is the outer diameter, ensuring a rigid connection to the action. We kept this diameter the same, but we necked down the shank to a smaller diameter, knowing that it was only going to be offered in a 6.5 PRC or 7 SAUM. And we also took the shank length and we moved it back as well. So we saw some savings there. When you look at the actual steel core in the barrel itself, we were able to remove some material in the ramps on the contour itself. Then you go all the way down to the muzzle end. We went with a smaller 3/4 inch muzzle diameter, And then we even made the flange at the end a little bit smaller as well to save some weight there. That way we've got optimized steel core on this barrel as well as the carbon wrap on the barrel. We worked with Leupold on this scope. We initially decided on the VX6 because it's just a good scope for mass weight. Some of the custom things we did with them is we removed the illumination to save some weight there. We went with a smaller windage cap with windage dial with a cap, and then we also eliminated the zoom lever on there. So basically total we got 2 ounces of savings here. We got roughly 8 ounces of savings on the barrel, and then in the stock we got a total of about 4 ounces of savings here. After we really evaluated the heavy hitters of this project, then we started looking at savings on a component level. So really after that, we attacked the action. Kind of one of the first things, we took our GLR design and really optimized this design. We have some extra cutouts in the rear of the action. We have more cutouts on the side, deeper recesses. And we're also able to move some of these critical surfaces down to save some weight. And the biggest thing about this, we didn't really change much in the chamber area because it's really high stress, but we were able to remove some material because of the low stresses seen in the back of the action. Then we kind of compound that with a GLR bolt, and we added this hex pattern to the outside of the bolt. So we were able to get some savings there. And then the bolt knob was actually a pretty surprising project to us that we were actually able to cut the weight in half. Small savings here, but we were able to core out the entire inside of the bolt knob. We were able to eliminate a fastener and how it connects to the bolt itself. Just a really, really optimized design here. And then kind of the last thing we did is we took our firing pin and we added some fluting to the inside of that as well, where we have these weight relief cuts that go on the inside of the firing pin spring. All of these things combined, we get another 2.5 ounces of savings. After we really tackled some of the bigger design projects, we really went through the rest of the small components on this project. And really this was kind of the extra mile for us. A lot of the really nice features on this gun. So one thing it's gonna have is a optimized butt plate adapter, where we came in, we removed material here, added some weight relief recesses in that part. And then we kind of get to aluminum flush cups. Aluminum, obviously, a lot lighter than steel. And then this gun is also going to have a full set of titanium fasteners. Those last small things, these were really a 1/3 of an ounce there, a 1/2 an ounce there. And they collectively add up to roughly an 1.5 ounces of savings there as well.
The cut is a Skunk Works project, which means it's limited availability. We're only doing a fixed run, and when they're gone, they're gone. We've got 6.5 PRC, 7 SAUM. The color selections are limited. It's basically the gun is the gun, and we probably won't resurrect this one because of the extreme cost of these materials and the difficulty in manufacturing and assembly, but the gun is awesome, so I'm sure one of these has your name on it.